actively going out of your way to destroy another person's life the way that Molly has done. This isn't the first time I've had to deal with a nut job like her. Not even close. It's also not the first time that I've repeatedly been blown off by police until a situation becomes violent. With her already trying to pop holes in my tires and obviously beating on my vehicle. Yes, there's extra dents in my vehicle. Thank you, lady. On the bright side, it was already dented. There's been a couple times since I've been in Oregon that while I was gone, somebody swiped my vehicle and didn't bother to say nothing. Fuck it. It's not in the greatest of condition anyway. I still got $1 and some change left to my name. I just ran into a young gentleman who calls himself Crash. And he was showing me a feller who was... Oh, I have it recorded, of course. I should probably shut that off now that I'm here. But he was showing me messages from one of his friends. It's the word pedophile over and over and over and over and over again. Well, there's Alexander. Hey, Alexander! He's probably looking for bottles and cans to exchange. So this guy Crash, he's saying that it wasn't him who started this, and it wasn't this girl who started it. It's some other dudes trying to start rumors and threatening to kill him and fucking assaulting him repeatedly. And what's he supposed to do? So he was talking to me today, and I got it well, part of it. You know, at the very beginning when he first started telling me the story, I was not recording it. I made sure at that point that I did. At first, what he was saying to me, because I told him what I was doing with trying to turn in pedophiles, and he told me that he'd done something stupid, and I asked him what it was, and, well, he was fucked up on drugs and was talking to somebody. You guys already know that I do warn men against talking to anybody. You kind of have to. Especially if it's female. Because people will get the wrong idea. They want to get the wrong idea. They want an excuse to jump into action and pretend like they're the good guy. Especially after all the horrible shit they've done in their lives. This would be their chance to rectify and fix their name after getting busted doing something real fucking stupid. So you end up with people who, they're not even charged with a crime. They're just victimized over and over and over again. And the cops, you can't go to them. When you try, they say they can't do nothing about rumors. Well, fuck it, I'm not coming to you about the goddamn rumors. I'm coming to you about the fucking violence. When you ask me why people are getting violent with me, and I tell you it's over rumors, and then you say you can't do nothing about rumors, it don't matter if you could do something about rumors or not. You can absolutely and do absolutely need to do something about assaults. You asked what they were over. They were over rumors. You want to pretend that people aren't fucking killed over rumors? That's just stupid. I got a lot of crimes I got to turn in. But I need help doing that. And I've been denied access and the right to the people who I am supposed to have access and the right to. But none of you care. You wanted a fucking demon that you could crucify. I'm homeless, so that's good enough. No due process of law. No, we can't be having that for a homeless person. Molly creates a safety issue for me and keeps up this safety issue for me. Tom is well aware of it, and he's fucking perpetrated himself in this situation. He said he was gonna lie to her and tell her that the stuff that she was claiming was stolen was behind goodwill. Well, the only reason that it would be behind goodwill is if he had it with him behind goodwill, but that's not where I run into him. That's what he told me he was going to tell her, and sure enough, that's what he told her. His dishonesty helped to perpetuate this. Also, the things that he's telling me, is he saying those things to her? Is he saying those things to the police? Or is he playing me? I'd like to believe that at 80 years old, he probably legit needs the help, but this is not help. This is 3 weeks of me being victimized for trying to help him, for him to just go right back into that fucking situation. They're both aware that I'm an at-risk adult. They're also both aware of the situation with Natalie. I make sure I'm honest with people and I let them know what's going on. If they claim they want to help, they need to know what's going on. So when people claim that they're going to help, I show them. These people know that I'm an at-risk adult, and they're, of course, pretending that they're going to help me in exchange for goods and services that I'm rendering, but they're not keeping their end. Now, as far as getting Tom away from an unsafe situation, you know what? I can't do it. The guy is creating a lot of problems for me because he doesn't have any balls. He claims he stood up to her and all this, that, and the other, but here's the thing. When I go to these services, it's because I need help. There are things I am not able to do. I don't know how to do them. And me trying to get that across to them, that my disabilities are not a choice, and that yes, I am supposed to have someone to help me with these things. Yes, we can jump through all these fucking hoops, but at the end of the day, without that person, I get no help. There needed to be somebody to help me to turn that in last night, but there was nobody. I had to do it alone. She chose when I was by myself to come over and victimize me again. There was a certain amount of help that I was willing to give Tom, because his necessities and needs and his anxieties, I had to do things that were harmful physically to me. They also cost me financially. And then, of course, I tell people to stop giving me things because I got no room in my vehicle. So he didn't want to carry stuff, so he gave it to me. So I'm thankful for the tools, right? That's what I need to look at it as. Well, it don't matter. Those tools are attached to my vehicle that I can't pay the insurance on because I don't have any assistance. People aren't understanding. I can't do this alone, no matter how much you victimize me for not being able to do it by myself. The cops keep blowing off my disabilities because I'm intelligent. And then they blow off my intelligence by pretending I have disabilities I don't, or by playing on wives' tales that were proven wrong in the 1980s and 90s. I mean, really, the stuff that we have learned about autism in the last 20 years makes that early crap look like mysticism. It makes it look like a cult. It's made out to be exactly what it was. In the 1980s and 90s, autism was a fucking witch hunt. People learned who it is that they could and could not bully. And everybody learned they could take it out on an autistic person, especially an autistic person who's intelligent. Because then they have no protections. Their parents don't fucking care. Everything must be their fucking fault because they're retarded. Our own parents don't try to understand us. The few that do, those kids are lucky. Well, only if they get the ones that their parents learn about it to understand them. You might get one like my dad who, out of everything that I tried to show him for him to understand, the only thing that he could remember out of any of it is one little thing called the freeze loop that he wanted to use to make everything my fault. Oh, Sean, it's the freeze loop. Everything is the goddamn freeze loop now. My dad literally learned nothing except how to victimize his own son with that information. So, what's the fucking point? The fact that he had a history of doing that prior doesn't make any fucking difference, does it? There's a difference between my dad and I. My dad went to prison because he was fucking selling cocaine. I went to prison because I tried showing evidence of abuse that I am literally still enduring. And of course, we got Mr. Martinez literally going out of his way to not do his job and to lie about what the laws in the state of Oregon are. To intentionally mislead the situation so that he wouldn't have to work. Why are we still funding these people? Cops have been relegated to the equivalent of ambulance chasers. Anything that they can pretend against somebody who obviously cannot defend themselves must be okay, and therefore they should get paid for doing so, and thanked mightily and heartily. You bunch us all into one group, the homeless. You assume that we're all on fucking drugs, that we're all pedophiles, and we're all rapists, that we're all felons. Well, guess what, folks? I'm not a felon. That's right, I was in prison not only not charged with a felony, but I wasn't convicted of jack shit, and I was denied all of my fucking rights. None of these places were going to do their jobs unless someone cared, and that's how it is to this day. That care place All they care about is that paperwork so they can get paid. As far as mandated reporting goes, they're not going to do it. As far as tides of change goes, maybe if I was a female who went in there with kids. Yes, I need the services to make sure that I don't lose my evidence, but not 6 months down the fucking road, and not to the exclusion of all else. We need to get the evidence turned in as quickly as fucking possible. None of this having to go through fucking 10,000 miles of red tape and bullshit. Molly should have been arrested last night. She wasn't arrested because I have to be afraid of going to the police alone because of how they treat me when I have to speak to them alone. Proof positive last night. Cop did not want to do his job. Did not want to take it seriously. Didn't even want to be there. Showed no actual interest and did the bare minimum that he could because he knew he was being recorded. That includes repeatedly talking over me. These guys understand that when somebody is coming to tell them what happened, well, they start off with saying what the event was. And then you go into details. Well, you don't get to go into details when the cops have decided that they're just going to talk over you and make excuses and make inferences about the situation that they were not there for, but they're already making those inferences. Kind of like Martinez. Highly inappropriate. Highly inappropriate for him to be making excuses for officers who committed felonies in other places, especially when those felonies and that abuse has resulted in me being here, being abused. I've gone to the mandated reporters. I have let them know that there is a safety risk and a safety issue, and they need to look at this evidence. When I bring it to them in person, I'm bringing it to you to show it to you, not to fucking tell you about it. The more frazzled I am, the more difficulties my communications are. And everyone knows this. I tell them this so they understand what not to do. And at that point, that's where they proceed to do exactly what it is that, well, they should not be doing. Yes, they heard me, obviously. Yes, they understood because they adapted their behaviors. But instead of adapting their behaviors in order to listen to understand, they adapted their behaviors for manipulation of the situation by preying upon my disabilities. Got damn near 7 years of evidence of that. Where do I go? People tell me to go to churches. I go to the churches. It costs a lot of money to jump around in them fucking churches. Look, this is what I'm smoking. I didn't buy cigarettes, just so you know. Well, I did. I bought 2 of them, but I didn't go buy a whole pack. And this is a snipe. I didn't buy this. These people have gotten away with 7 years of abuse by pretending that I might. By using my disabilities to pretend that I might. He might. Things that I have zero fucking history of. But then again, when you're a disabled homeless male, nobody gives a shit. The media blackballed me. Law enforcement blackballed me. I was literally forced by the people that I'm supposed to go to literally my predators, to turn in my predators. I was sent to Scott DaCosta to turn in Scott DaCosta. I was sent to Scott DaCosta to turn in his deputies, and rather than do something about his deputies, he actually did. He helped them to get away with the crimes that they'd committed. That's why he went through over 20 officers. 20 deputies. since the death of Natalie Bollinger. Now, there's stuff that I was wrong about, and I admit it. I'm the only one who does. I'm not allowed to speak in court. These people get to use Facebook and YouTube and just little bits and pieces that they want to use. And they get to intimidate me and threaten and harass my loved one helping me. And I'm supposed to say nothing and do nothing? No, the officers are helping these predators to get away. That officer last night helped Molly to get away. There's only one way to do this. First of all, to record it live, and second of all, for them to watch the videos while being recorded live doing so. Because of the safety issues with Molly. And because of the perpetuation of it by Tom, because he's too afraid to tell the goddamn truth. I don't care how fucking lonely you are. I don't care how fucking old you are. You do not help predators take advantage of another human being, especially when that human being is trying to help you out. There's a lot of people who promise to help me, but instead, I tell them, hey, there's people threatening to kill the folks who are offering to help me, so you should probably think about that before you offer to help. Oh no, Sean, I can handle it. A week later, Sean, people are threatening to kill me and my kids, I'm out. Well, that's just splendid. And then when I speak out about it, the cops pretend that I'm schizophrenic and making it up. And then when I post it on the internet, because I'm being victimized in real life over the shit that's on the internet, just so you know. When I got to post it up on the internet that I was telling the truth because you were too much of a coward to do so. Well, now you know. When you wanted to claim that I slandered your name, show it, prove it. Prove that I slandered your name. Prove that you made a fucking police report. Prove that you spoke up and said those things to the police, to the public, or to the media. I've got proof that you claimed you did. Zero proof that you actually did. I've got proof that I actually tried. I've got proof of how I am treated when I am alone. How it is different when somebody is there. And how being forced to go to officers who are your predators does not work. It is a conflict of interest. But if they refuse to investigate for literally years and allow the evidence to be fucking destroyed by the very fucking predators, like, Jesus goddamn Christ, what is wrong with these people? And they get away with it all by calling me mentally ill and claiming that I am schizophrenic. That's right, officers doing this. That's not diagnosed by a fucking doctor. That was diagnosed by, let's see, Officer Amanda Jonas diagnosed me as schizophrenic and delusional. And Sheriff Scott DaCosta diagnosed me as schizophrenic and delusional. The evidence shows that I'm not, and of course, that includes the evidence with someone who is licensed and has spent a substantial quantity of time. Not only do I have her voice recorded, I've also got physical evidence on paper with her signature stating that I am not schizophrenic, not delusional, not bipolar. I do have PTSD. And this is the help that I get because I'm a male. I should be able to do these things myself. Even these services, mostly run by women, you have to deal with that bias. The men might help you out because they understand, hell, dude, you're a dude. You're probably not going to get any help. So I was told there's supposed to be an emergency line for those folks, and this does need to be taken care of as an emergency, because this abuse it's escalating exponentially. And with the stuff that I got Tom recorded saying, yeah, I'm pretty sure that her violent tendencies, not only towards her, or towards him, but also towards my vehicle, that pretty well establishes a fucking pattern of behavior that I can look forward to. So instead of having the cops do something about the situation, I'm being run off, costing me time, costing me resources, because I'm trying to turn in my predator. Now, whether or not Tom is complicit in it, or merely complacent, well, that is yet to be determined or decided, and it'll likely have to be decided by a court of law if he doesn't come forward. Which, since I already have the recordings and he knows I record everything, hopefully he puts two and two together. He has no idea how scary a situation that this really is for me. I don't expect him to help me. I don't expect anyone to help me. I hope that they'll keep their word, but when it comes to me being victimized, because instead of you helping me, I ended up helping you, you still didn't keep your word, and then, of course, here I am, being victimized still of the situation. I didn't want nothing to do with Molly. There's a reason for that. I was fine with helping Tom out. He's not fine with it. He wants the help, but he also obviously wants a female companion. It's just fucking nuts. Meanwhile, I can't afford any of this. I must have wanted it, needed it, chose it, or deserved it, though, because penis, right? I needed help. I needed someone who understood my disabilities to explain to these people that I can't do what they're asking me to do. I needed someone to look at the situation and realize that I am incapable, and why. Nobody cared to even look. You want to tell me about all these people that offered to help? Offered. Didn't follow through. Did not follow through, mostly due to drug and alcohol use. While I was at Shannon Alvarado's, I smoked pot. While I was in Montana, Atlanta, and Amanda Ingline's, I smoked pot. Not trying to offend your senses here or anything, but I admit to smoking pot. I've never hid it. It's pot. I don't go steal from people to smoke pot. Matter of fact, at this point in my life, I've been through almost 9 years of not wanting to smoke pot, but needing to, so that I am not shunned from the homeless community. If you don't smoke pot, do meth, or drink, nobody out here is going to trust you. You'd think that it'd be different, but no, most of the people out here who don't do that stuff are focused on getting up and out. They're the ones that have a job, they wash their clothes in the creek, and they hope that that'll work, and they ride their bike and try to stay clean shaven and maintain their job, and hopefully they save enough to get up and out. Sometimes they do. Sometimes one person working that hard solo can get close, at least. I know a guy who lives on a bus. I know a few people that live on buses, actually. But I know a guy who did it himself. Actually did it himself. Did the work himself. Went to the auction himself. Had the resources and the abilities to go doing all of these things himself. I am in a constant state of crisis. Yes, I am still an intelligent human being, but no, I can't function because of it. So when I tell these people what is going on, that I am an at-risk adult who cannot defend himself, and they blow me off, they are breaking the law. Claiming that they're going to do something while making zero effort to actually show any effort towards investigating it. Did that officer last night, did he take any pictures for evidence of that broken bottle that came from her that was on the ground? I'm afraid to even be at Fred Meyer's. Meanwhile, I got to remember the name Brandy, because the situation with that sick old man I got to remember the names of witnesses, and I got to make sure that it's documented somewhere. Writing it down is not good enough. It's going to get fucking lost in here somewhere. I'll have to go digging through thousands of pieces of paper and a lot of garbage to try to find it. Living like this is in-fucking-humane. I'm only living like this because I don't have any actual advocacy. Nobody is going to take this seriously. Here's the thing about the tides of change. If someone called them with me and explained how dangerous this fucking situation actually is, maybe they would get off their asses and treat this as a very dangerous situation, because it is. I understand that they don't have enough people, but that's something that needs to be stated. It needs to be stated publicly. If you can't do your job as a mandated reporter because there is too much, that is not the fault of the victim. When a person is victimized by the police, that's not their choice either. The fact that hospitals will listen to cops as if they are doctors, as if they are ordained by the Almighty. They're not. It's illegal for those fucking hospitals to just take that fucking cop's word for it. Cop tells them I'm schizophrenic. I tell them I'm trying to turn in the cops, and they tell me they're going to put me on drugs. Yeah, that's totally legal. Of course that's totally legal. No, the fuck it ain't. The problem, once you start dealing with the cops, once you deal with any of these agencies, there's just too many ways and too many places, too many opportunities to deny you the right to record the situation. And they say, oh, well, I'm recording it, that should be good. No, the fuck it's not, you fucking lazy goddamn cunt-ass bitches. I have too many fucking crooked-ass goddamn pigs that I have recorded telling me it's going to take an act of God to get the body cameras, or that I have to pay them money that I don't have in order to get that evidence of their wrongdoing. I can't even turn them in. With Monica, the shit that I tried to turn in, the first time that I spoke with her, that should have been taken care of with her the first time that I spoke with her. Now, as far as my vehicle, yes, that's important so I don't lose the vehicle and the fucking evidence that she wasted 3 weeks of time with. And it wasn't just her. Don't get me wrong, I was absolutely trying to help out Tom.
I was absolutely trying to help myself out in that situation too. This wouldn't happen if you just took care of yourself. Bullshit. Bullshit. It's even more scary when you're alone. Because that's when the cops get to enjoy their jobs and take their shit out on somebody with no repercussions. Sure, they stick their knee on the back of George Floyd's neck, and you guys think it's horrible. Lassen and DaCosta put their knee on the back of my neck. And that fucking Officer Todd, who's probably pushing 300 to 400 pounds, he's huge, doing the same thing to me in the jail that I was sent to for trying to turn in DaCosta. Repeatedly, Scott DaCosta has manipulated his job as the sheriff, his position as the sheriff, to bar me from turning him in, to prevent me from turning him in. No, this shit is not fucking legal. They're doing everything that they can to victimize an at-risk adult and doing everything that they can to magically pretend that I'm not at risk. I'm only disabled when they can use that to prevent me from showing evidence. The rest of the time I'm intelligent, so I have to do it myself so that they can fucking deny me over and over and over again, everywhere I fucking go. They know that I'm fucking disabled. They know that they can pull these tricks. The reason that they say the things that they do is because that's the bullshit that allows them to get away with committing the fucking felonies that they commit. Kind of like when they assault the shit out of you and tell you to stop resisting. You were never fucking resisting. They're trying to break your fucking arm. Or they're walking around the bed feeling for the pressure points that are going to hurt you the most. Like Officer Burke did in the situation there in Longmont when I was taken to the hospital. And Amanda Jonas, these people listened to my predators. That's right, I put it on YouTube, or sorry, on Facebook. I admitted to it on Facebook because if I try to do anything, I'm fucking ignored. But my predators are allowed, and I proved that. And they even did everything that they could to destroy that evidence before I got out of jail in Arapahoe County. This is enough. Just because you don't want to look at the fucking abuse doesn't make it fucking okay. Tides of Change is supposed to do something about this. You would think that they would take a 16-year-old being human trafficked more fucking seriously. Just like the situation in Hood River when I tried to turn it in. I was told exactly who to go to. I tried going to that person. What happened? Her boss attempted to threaten, harass, and intimidate me. This is not fucking okay! It's gonna take a lot more than a fucking hour, and I shouldn't have to pull your teeth to get you to fucking do your job as a mandated fucking reporter. 3 goddamn weeks of this. We should have had something done 3 fucking weeks ago. The cops got no problem repeatedly fucking harassing me over Molly. Molly's got no problem repeatedly fucking harassing me and beating on my fucking vehicle. You gonna tell me this is not a goddamn problem? I talk nice to the pigs. They literally make me scream to get heard. They literally break the law until I am forced to scream at the top of my lungs in fucking protest for help. And then they pretend that I'm deranged and crazy because they have forced me into that situation to turn in my fucking abuse. They don't even hear what I have to say before repeatedly interrupting me and talking over me and making excuses. always tell you guys to put your daughter in that situation. I want you to think of your daughter being in my position. Why? Because she's female and you're sexist. If your daughter is disabled and abused, and her predators are getting away with abusing her by calling her mentally ill, well, shit. Actually, if you're one of her parents, chances are that you're the one doing it. So maybe we should avoid that scenario. Maybe we should avoid that truth, because it doesn't fit your narrative. Oh, no mother would do that. No father would do bullshit. I got a recording with a young man today who told me that his brother had sex with his mother here in Oregon. Now, I don't know if that's something that I have to mandatorily turn in or not. I know I've got it recorded. I also know that I've got many, many other recordings here in Tillamook where I have to go to the internet because I am afraid to go to the police alone, and they show time and again why it is that I have to be afraid of going to them alone. They're never going to do anything about Molly. Thank goodness I recorded Tom, because just like pretty much everybody else in these situations, he's a coward. At the same time, I do understand desperation, and I understand that, well, according to him, she got a room, or according to that lady at Fred Meyer. See, that's the thing, is that Molly is a female, gets all sorts of people involved. All sorts of people are harassing me over fucking Molly, including Molly. And I have to record this shit and put it on the fucking internet because I can't go to the police. Not even through Tides of Change, because it requires pulling fucking teeth. Hope? There is no fucking hope. Not unless you actually give a shit. Just like the situation with Tom. Tom had his opportunity to get out of that. He kept changing his mind and being indecisive. Not my fault. With my situation, people wanted to pretend like it magically froze. Like, oh, well, I haven't talked to Sean since 2018. Maybe things are, well, I don't know what they're expecting. But the fact that they ghosted me for a few years, yeah, that's not going to fucking get me in fucking any sort of endearment with them. Especially when they're going out of their way to fucking avoid the goddamn situation and pretend I don't fucking exist. No, I don't know you shit. My dad has tried to pretend that I don't exist most of my adult life. Then, finally, in 2019, he was gonna help me. Made the claim anyway, didn't keep his fucking word. I needed to clear my name. I still had the opportunity. While I was at my dad's house, it had not been a full year. On a lot of that stuff, I could have gotten the body camera fucking evidence, but my dad's a stupid piece of shit and a selfish motherfucker, and all he cared about was Forex.com, Forex.com, Forex.com. Sean, just ignore all of your problems and they'll magically go away. Let's focus on Forex.com. You are a fucking idiot. And so are these cops if they think this shit is O-fucking-K. And so are you if you're not fucking speaking up. If you're going to make excuses for this predatory behavior, you don't deserve your fucking rights. You are literally watching it happen to an innocent fucking person for 6 goddamn years. What are you doing about it? It's just fucking entertainment to you. I didn't make this channel for your entertainment. I made this channel to try to get help for the actual fucking victims. We got so many people out here living in their fucking cars. None of them are allowed to live anywhere or park anywhere. Some of them, they don't have a little dinky car like this. It's all full of fucking evidence. Over half of what's in here is fucking evidence. I got 15 bags of just paperwork. Anyway, I got 2 different instructions on the calling the wings of change, tides of change, maybe waves of change. So I got to call them up and let them know. I've already been harassed by half a dozen people over Molly. And then, of course, when people tell Molly they're done with her, she'll send somebody else that she's friendly with. Oh, yeah, she knows how to pretend to be fucking friendly. She knows how to pretend polite in public. I do have to be afraid of that woman, but I also have to be afraid of the police lying to me because they don't want to do their job. At this point, I do need to turn in multiple officers. Them not taking the situation or my disabilities seriously. Not understanding, going out of their way to ignore the fact that I am an at-risk adult so they don't have to do their jobs. I told them what was going on. Why didn't they do their jobs? Why do I have to go to cops that didn't do their jobs, hoping that they're going to do their jobs? And then you want me to trust these officers who didn't do their jobs? Well, they need to fess up on paper that they didn't do their fucking jobs. That's the thing with these public pretenders. The fact that they wouldn't sign their name to a goddamn thing they were telling me let me know they weren't going to do their jobs. At this point, I am being victimized by the Tillamook Police Department. This is victimization. Rather than locking up the criminals, you victimize the victims. You force them to travel elsewhere where they will be victimized again. An at-risk adult is an at-risk adult no matter where they are in this country. And putting at-risk adults in prisons and jails without proper surveillance equipment to show that they are treated humanely, which they're not. They're absolutely not. The more mentally unstable someone is, the more the guards like fucking with them. But they also like fucking with anybody who tells on a guard. They make it your word versus theirs. This is illegal unless you've been convicted of a felony, so the fact that I went through it without being convicted of a felony, the fact that I was treated as if I was guilty and never allowed to prove my innocence, where I had false charges against me, and they've done this repeatedly, pressed false charges in order to prevent me from turning them in, and then dropping the charges when they've been able to destroy enough evidence. Nebraska State Patrol was supposed to come and get that evidence. Instead, the safety issue created by Scott DaCosta, the Nebraska State Patrol, and of course Leslie Snell and Robert Warnick made that a damn near impossibility. The fact that the people who were supposed to come see me from the Nebraska State Patrol did not get a hold of me to verify before doing so, as they'd first of all promised they were going to do and said was necessary. I was basically on hold for that Thursday, pending a phone call from Sergeant Jones. Amanda Jonas was in Colorado. Sergeant Jones was with the Nebraska State Patrol Troop E. Now, the things that the guards pulled in the jail to prevent me from getting a hold of those people, and the things that the guards pulled in the prisons
to prevent me from getting a hold of those people, contacting those people, and letting those people know what was going on. No human being should have to go through that. But you call me mentally ill and magically it's okay to fucking torture me. This is not fucking okay. And this is torture. This is inhumane. Police officers going out of their way to ignore every fucking crime against me and make every fucking excuse and talk over me so that I can't make a fucking oral report. No, what these cops are doing here in Tillamook has now become felonious. And that needs to be remedied. Now what am I going to be told to do? Go to a bunch of different fucking places by myself again. None of those places are going to listen to me because I am autistic, I am overwhelmed, and I need help. I have communication difficulties based on the amount of use that I have to take. I am well versed in how officers and of course these agencies treat a male versus a female. I understand full well that the difference between somebody being heard, especially as a male, is whether or not somebody goes in with them who actually gives a shit. Out of all of these people who give a shit, show me one who looked at the evidence and actually fought for my fucking rights. You can only find one that actually looked at fucking evidence. My little sister wouldn't look at evidence. She was too twacked out of her goddamn gourd, shuffling and reshuffling and re-fucking shuffling and fucking having a fucking party of it. No, that was a highly abusive fucking situation. I needed help and instead I was having my life threatened by Ed. I had evidence on my computer destroyed by Ed. Yes, I absolutely turned that shit in. I turned it into who I was supposed to. Marcia Estrada. There's a lot of people I was supposed to. They're all mandated reporters. All of them telling me it's not their job. No, it is all of their job, and every single one of them is negligent in their duties, resulting in death in many of these cases. If these mandated reporters had done their jobs, well, Natalie Bollinger and a lot of other people would still fucking be alive. But no, I'm a male who's intelligent. So you ignore my disabilities, but then you deny me my rights because I'm disabled. And then you don't even get my disabilities right. And then I'm being victimized by people who are listening to web sleuth shows who, of course, don't have all the facts. They don't care. It's fucking entertainment, just like this channel is only entertainment to you. Well, this isn't entertaining to me. This is my fucking life, you pieces of shit. When you promise you're gonna fucking help me and you don't give a shit what that does to me. You don't give a shit what it cost me. Time and time again, people promise to help, and then at the last minute, they fucking dip out, and then I have to do it alone. And because I had to do it alone, those predators got away with doing exactly what it is that I was afraid they would do. I set it up so that they couldn't do those things by making sure that there was a witness of some sort. Well, when those witnesses don't show up or don't fucking care and they want to get a hold of you a month later and, you know, you can see they sent you a fucking friend request on Facebook. You can see they're out partying and then they want to type at you about all the problems that they've had over the last fucking month. Well, fucking speak out. Stop telling me about your fucking problems. Yes, I get that you have them. Is it something you want my help with? No? Then stop telling me about it. I need help. Telling me about yourself nonstop about something I can't do anything about, well, that's not going to do any fucking good. There's things that you can do something about, but you're not going to fucking stop talking about yourself long enough to do that. I am tired of being fucking victimized because you don't actually fucking care. Because the cops actually don't fucking care. Because most of these victims are selfish pieces of shit who don't give a fuck about anybody but themselves. All they do is whine about them being victimized. You can't go to them for help because all they're going to do is fucking get that fucking circle and hit it. And over and over and over and over and over. And pretty soon they're talking about the Illuminati and fucking aliens. And Jesus fucking goddamn Christ, that's not help. With Rebecca, I understand that she felt alienated when I let her know I'm not going to have meth up at camp. Well, she's a meth addict. I understand why she did not go along well with that. I didn't understand that she was a meth addict until I got to Portland, though. And as far as human trafficking goes, yeah, she fits the criteria. A lot of women I know fit the criteria, and many of them have asked me to speak out, but they're too afraid to. They want me to do it. Rebecca, she wanted me to do it. Like, Rebecca, nobody's going to listen. But she says, oh, well, nobody's listening to me. That's why we do it together, Rebecca. That's why we do it together. Not me doing it for you. I'm not asking people to do anything for me that I am not capable of doing myself. If I can't do it, if I'm not capable and I need you to teach me, that's not me asking you to do it for me. That is me asking you to teach me. Now, there are many situations, like the situation with Mandy Singer, where there was stuff I needed her to teach me, but we were on a fucking time crunch, not just from my side, but also from hers. And yes, that was frustrating for her. And yes, she absolutely did take that out on me more than once, but she also apologized for it because she recognized that it wasn't my fault that she was going through all that. Yes, I was one more addition to the fucking stresses in her life. But you know what? All of her stresses were more additions to the stresses in my life as well. And that's one of the things about seeing another person as a human being. Me and her are both going through the same shit. But does she recognize it the same as I do? No, she only saw it one way. Now, for a few brief moments, yes, she did understand what she had done wrong, and I am wholeheartedly grateful to her for, first of all, recognizing it, and second of all, apologizing. I have to be afraid to turn off my recording device, because at any point in time, some nut job like Molly could come up and start doing this shit, and I know that if I call 911, it's not going to fucking go anywhere. I need someplace to, when there is a crime committed against me, especially by someone who has a history of victimizing me, there needs to be someone who I can call and say, hey, I need to call the cops right fucking now, and I need you to explain to them to take this shit fucking seriously instead of treat me like I'm a fucking junkie. Not one of my friends could do that. Oh, they all admitted I'm not a junkie. They all admitted I don't do fucking drugs. Even the drug dealers admitted I don't do fucking drugs. After admitting that they're drug dealers. Some of them after admitting that they fucking killed people. Yeah, that's on my channel. The situation with Jamie getting hit in the head by that guy up there in Hood River. Sorry, the Dalles. You know, here's the thing. Without somebody going in with me, these people are not going to do their jobs. And when I try to turn them in for not doing their jobs, they can call the cops immediately, play victim, and have me fucking victimized immediately. The cops are not going to look at the fucking evidence. Look at the situation in Hood River. Look at how many times I was victimized there. Had the evidence recorded on my fucking YouTube, but the cops ain't gonna look. Why would they? They'd already committed fucking felonies against me. They took part in the crimes against me. I need a safe place where I can sit down with my computer and go through this shit and actually make the calls that I need to make. You can do that in your own home. I can't do that in the fucking library.
I gotta move everything out of my vehicle to grab the shit that I need to go set it up, just to tear it all back again and bring it all back out to the fucking vehicle and stuff everything back in. But then again, when I pull everything out, I have to stuff everything into the vehicle that I'm not taking into the building with me anyway. So I gotta take all of that out in order to stuff everything back in, just to stuff everything back in again. This is fucking inhumane. These conditions are inhumane, and I've lived 6 years of this. I can't turn it in alone. I go to the services that I'm told are supposed to help me. Well, they're not. Then there's all these places that I'm told to call. Someone needs to call them with me. I've called them alone for 6 fucking years. By myself, nearly every goddamn call. These people needed to work to fucking together. If they actually gave a shit about me, they would have. But they made zero effort. I am fucking scared shitless to do anything other than fucking record. If people would stop fucking victimizing me, I wouldn't get so goddamn loud. But you're not doing a goddamn thing about it. Yes, I have rights as an at-risk fucking adult. I have rights as an American citizen. But neither one of those are being fucking observed because of the term mentally ill. Where my predators get to pretend that autism is schizophrenia. My computer didn't want to work earlier, didn't want to hook up to the internet, didn't want to nothing. I mean, I was in Fred Meyer's, I was fucking trying. I don't have a fucking place to do it, all right? That's been the problem for 6 goddamn years, not having a place to do it. Having the evidence fucking stolen from me repeatedly. Having to go from one abusive environment to another where I can't fucking function, and then you get to victimize me because I can't function. And then you pretend that because I'm still capable of speaking the English language, that it means that I magically have the ability to do all these things that you already know I can't do. These officers already know that I'm not capable of doing this shit that costs money. And they'll rub that in your fucking face. After they break the law, they tell you get a lawyer when you get out. It's a running fucking joke in every goddamn jail and prison in America. They already know you ain't got no goddamn money, and if you had any family that gave a shit, you wouldn't be sitting in there on a bum fucking rap. But it don't matter. My dad didn't give a shit. My dad probably didn't even know it fucking happened. After 5 years of victimizing the fuck out of me and looking away to everything that fucking happened to me, he wanted to get a hold of me because he wanted evidence of his wrongdoing taken down. Then he wanted to pretend like he was planning on helping me. No, the fuck he wasn't. It didn't turn out the way that he wanted it to. I exercised my First Amendment right to speak out about the son of a bitch. When my choices are be victimized or be victimized, those aren't very good choices. When my choices are be silent and be victimized or speak up and be victimized, I'm still victimized either way. It is no loss for me to speak out, but you guys are cowards. All of you who are involved in the situation who blew me off, I get that you don't want to admit that you fucking blew me off.
You already know what you did fucking wrong. None of these cops are going to take me seriously. You know, the more afraid of them I am, the more my Tourette's comes out. Now, if I had family, all of my fucking family knows I got Tourette's. My little sister could make those fucking calls with me. My mom could have made those calls with me. My dad could have made those calls with me. My older brother could have made those calls with me. None of them gave a fuck. None of them give a fuck to this day. None of them even tried. I got one phone call recorded with my dad when I was still at Shannon Alvarado's. I was grateful for what I had, but I didn't have what I was promised. Graham didn't keep his word. Tabby didn't keep her word. Shannon Alvarado didn't keep her word. Her boyfriend didn't keep his word. Nobody kept their fucking word. Meanwhile, I'm being victimized, and I'm stuck in subservient environments where I am fucking scared shitless of the people who are claiming they were going to help me because of their behaviors. And if I act like them, I'm an evil person, right? They're allowed and I'm not. These cops are going out of their way to ignore this shit. I do feel very much that Tides of Change is being sexist in the way that they're handling this. Or rather, not handling it. Not understanding the safety risks inherent. What I am enduring and why. Now that lady claims that she'll help me to do this paperwork on Monday. We got a lot of paperwork to do. The situation with Molly should have been dealt with 3 fucking weeks ago. Tom's a coward. Straight up. So it's a good thing I recorded the things that Tom said, isn't it? But needing a place to fucking process it, obviously Fred Myers is not a safe place for me to go. I have no place to go to sleep. None. What am I going to do? Drive around with no fucking gas all night? Drive up the mountain and get fucking stranded with no gas? Your fucking solutions to me being victimized, instead of doing your jobs as mandated reporters, your solutions are for me to waste more resources and let the predators get away. That is not okay. The cops are just going to play head games and word games unless someone is there with me. When they break the law, someone needs to speak up. I never had a case manager or a caseworker to help me with this. The Department of Health and Human Services is supposed to provide one. I still don't know the name of the one I was supposed to have. Now there's this stuff with Monica that she wanted to do with the getting my disability back. No, she needed to pay attention to that 3 weeks ago. I've been through 3 weeks of victimization. I need to fucking put a stop to that before I can do anything else. And that includes the victimization by the police. How is she going to advocate? Is she just going to sit there? She said she thought I did a good job, but that cop didn't. He broke the law blatantly and repeatedly in that recording. And I have to post it up. I don't want to fucking do that. But I suppose I got to, don't I? I'm going to start recording on my tablet, and I'm going to hope I don't get fucked with by the police while it's only being recorded on a tablet. Because that would allow them to do something like, of course, what Dual County Sheriff's Department did, whereby they take the evidence against them, they steal it, they get to destroy it, and also deny me access to it in court. I need to turn in to Tillamook Police Department for knowingly, willingly, and intentionally creating an unsafe situation for me. These people know that I'm not capable of doing what they're asking. And that's why that's specifically what they ask for. These people want to give the same suggestions as everybody else, not understanding the fact that if those were viable options, then the many times that I've tried it already, it would have fucking succeeded. No, I need a place where I can not only make the phone calls, but actually record them. And I can't trust anybody who is not willing to record the conversations. If you're not willing to record it, you're not willing to speak up, then you're not willing to help. You're gaslighting me. Not okay. I'm told to do all this stuff over the internet that I'm not capable of doing over the internet. Hopefully this lady there will help me to do it over the internet. But we have to get that far, and that's difficult. I mean, I've run out of fucking resources in this time. Those of you who want to claim it's all my fault, no, it's absolutely not. Tom and I were both victims of Molly. But I'm not a dumb bitch who lays down and fucking takes it. Oh, I gotta get away from her. I gotta get away from her. I gotta get away from her. Oh, she's got a room. Way to fucking go, dude. Now you're helping out my predators. Not only that, she's only my predator because of you, because I helped you out. You're doing the same thing as so many women. Of course, the difference is I did offer, whereas most of these women come up to me and asked me. And yes, he did ask me for help on several occasions with several things. He did get the help that he wanted. When we made agreement about situations, he did change the deal, and of course it did cost me when he changed the deal. It cost me physically, it cost me financially, and it cost me in time. Those are acceptable resources to spend to get somebody safe. But those are not acceptable resources to expend when they are not only not making you safe, but they're making you decidedly unsafe and preventing you from turning in these predators. With Tom, I've been trying to turn in Molly. Matter of fact, that's the thing about talking to those folks yesterday. I went down to the Tides of Change office and let them know there needs to be a cop here. No more of this forcing me to move because there's no place for me to be. Where I'll get fucking harassed and victimized for 3 goddamn weeks. None of these services are going to kick in 3 goddamn weeks. Now that this lady is finally getting the fucking point that I need help turning this shit in now, it's already fucking 3 weeks too late. If I don't want to get my shit fucking stolen, I need to get fucking insurance on my vehicle and drive somewhere else. Because these mandated reporters want to take their dear sweet fucking goddamn time. You'll get around to it eventually, right? No, I have every right to be pissed off. You have 24 hours. In some states here, it's immediate. The way those officers treated me was highly inappropriate. For them to outright dismiss my disabilities the way that they did, not fucking acceptable. Using my intelligence to deny me the rights of a disabled person who is being abused. Meanwhile, I was telling them about the abuse that I'm going through. I was obviously trying to make a report, and they obviously were doing everything that they could to fucking sidestep it and bullshit me. I want proof. I want evidence of everything that you tell me. I'm not just going to believe you because you got a shiny fucking lie machine pinned to your chest. Just because you got that piece of metal on your chest that makes it okay to lie, cheat, steal, rape, and murder doesn't mean that I'm okay with pillaging. When I say, how would you like it if someone did that to you? You go, oh, Sean's threatening me. No, I'm not threatening you. I'm trying to get you to put yourself in my motherfucking shoes, bitch. Someone calling themselves the lone she wolf type shouldn't have to worry about things like that. I have to worry about everything. I have to worry about the fact that I won't be heard because I'm homeless. I have to worry about the fact that I won't be heard because I'm male. The fact that my disabilities will be used, and not even my actual disabilities, but disabilities that my predators want to pretend that I have so that they can prevent me from taking them to court or showing evidence, and it has been effective. Then magically, after they've denied me the right to show evidence claiming that I'm crazy, then magically I'm sane enough to be sentenced after their thorough fucking railroading. And where was Alyssa Rainwater through all this? Where was Mandy Hughes through all this? Where was Mandy Singer through all this? Where was Veronica Bruce through all this? Where was Brenda Dickinson through all this? Where was Jeff Ritter and Kara Heller through all this? Where was Scott DaCosta through all this? Where are all these people that I'm supposed to go to for help? Where are they through all this? Polly Olson was a witness to multiple situations that I was in. An actual verifiable eyewitness to multiple situations of abuse against me, or abusive situations that I was in, and she refused to do her job as a mandated reporter because she's friends with some of my predators. At least she admitted it. Now she's in prison for embezzling $18,000 from the taxpayers. Well, that's chump change. That was her consolation prize for embezzling nearly $200,000 altogether in order to help her friends to get away with committing felonies against an at-risk adult. Now, since there are over 20 public officials and or officers that I have tried to turn in who have now been arrested on the same or similar charges, maybe it's time for you guys to, I don't know, fucking pay some goddamn attention. Make the call with me. Don't tell me you're sorry. Make the call with me. Set it up. Make it on time. Make the call. Don't brush me off and then get back a hold of me in a month to fucking treat me like shit. No, you fucking outright misled an at-risk adult who is in desperate need of help, and you took advantage of said at-risk adult. You agreed upon a battle plan whereby your active involvement would serve as deterrent to police breaking the law and to deter them from obviously breaking the law and retaliating against me for trying to turn in their fellow officers. How about instead of taking advantage of me, you actually help? How about instead of telling me you're sorry, you make a fucking phone call with me? How about instead of ghosting me, you keep your fucking word? How about instead of lying to me, you keep your fucking word? How about instead of claiming that I slandered your name, only to get your butt all hurt when you realize that it's recorded in your words, your voice, coming out of your mouth on my YouTube channel? You just slandered me, motherfucker. You accused me of slander for repeating something you told me. And that something you told me is recorded. And you want to play victim. How quaint. Now I'm afraid to call Tides of Change. I gotta try to find their non-emergency line. Emergency line? Well, when you say emergency, they send you to 911, and 911 victimizes the shit out of the homeless. That's why you have to go in with somebody else. That's the situation last night. I would have loved to go to the cops, but who was going to go to the cops with me at 9 o'clock at night? Molly has made a fucking game of threatening, harassing, and intimidating me and pretending excuses. She is actually violent. I was assaulted by Waylon Lolatai and then charged with assault. I was assaulted at Clearview and then charged with assault. I was assaulted repeatedly in the jails and prisons, including being sexually assaulted by 6 officers in Lincoln Correctional Center. I looked it up when I got out of prison. They told me that that wasn't assault or sexual assault. I looked it up. It certainly is. They literally tore my clothes off, intentionally making sure that it pulled across my groin. Yanked it off of my body. They had scissors, but they were too busy trying to put me in as much pain as possible to retaliate against me for telling on them. And they did this over and over again. When you're assaulted over a dozen times in a month by officers in the prison, and they only allow you 5 envelopes, and then they deny you the right to those envelopes, and they deny you the right to the phone, all of this to retaliate against you for telling on them, then only their word is heard and yours is not. They get to hold their own court without you being allowed to have a lawyer or representation, where you might get one of these people's coworkers to pretend. This is not fucking okay. This is a kangaroo fucking court system, and instead of doing something about it, you're just bitching. You victimize the victims who try to get help, and then when you get victimized, you bitch that nobody will fucking help you. Look at how you helped me. By looking the other way and pretending that looking the other way was going to make it stop. Let me tell you something. If you got an outhouse out back and it's full of shit, it's full of shit. If you ignore the fact that it's full of shit, and you go sit on it, you're sitting on turds, and you're going to mash that next poop into your butt. It's going to be gross. If you ignore the leak on your roof, it's eventually going to go down and start rusting your nails and warping your boards and making your house slightly lopsided. Now, there are thousands of pounds in just materials for the roof. As soon as it's no longer straight up and down, it's going to start collapsing, possibly on top of you and your children. Ignoring problems does not make them go away. All of these people who claim to care about me and then wanted to go out of their way to literally ignore the situation. They encouraged people to harm me by doing so. I shouldn't have had to go to fucking drug dealers, because none of these services would do their jobs. But I went to who I had. When I need to make a police report about abuse, yes, if my father would have made those calls about the abuse with me, it would have made a difference. If my mother would have made those calls with me about the abuse, it would have made a difference. Anyone in my family could have tried to give a shit. But no, my sister only gave a shit about getting money from me, so she could go waste it on drugs, and I have no problems believing that it was probably for drugs. With the stuff that Tara was telling me, and of course the information that it came from, her actions, the people that she was hanging out with, and the choices that she was making, yeah, I got no problems believing Tara's strung out on fucking meth. The way that officer handled it yesterday, Officer Martinez, highly inappropriate. At least he was sort of nice about it, but no, it is never okay to talk over a victim, nor to make excuses for their predators. I'm telling him what I'm going through and why, and he's going out of his way to make excuses for my predators. That is never appropriate. Never. This is how homeless males are treated, though, folks. And we have to go in alone. We have to talk to these officers alone. If Tom was a good man, he'd go in with me to turn in Molly. You can be nice and still be a coward, but you can't be a good person and be a coward at the same time. It just doesn't work. You're gonna watch people murder your fucking neighbors and not do a goddamn thing. That's what a coward does. And a coward is nice to the son of a bitches who are doing it. Oh yeah, fuck yeah, Himmler, I love what you guys are doing. Fuck yeah, get rid of everybody that doesn't look like me. Blah, 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 blah. Really, you're just fucking scared of getting victimized yourself. And I got literally hundreds of recordings of people admitting that. I got hundreds of recordings of people admitting that they were victimized. Why didn't they go to the cops with me if those things really happened? You get to see how people who called themselves my friends, how when they lied and misled the situation because they're allowed because they are females, how it destroyed any chance of me getting a decent life or stopping the abuse. Candace Bondurant is the worst friend that I've ever had. She is probably the most horrible excuse for a human being that I have ever met, with the things that she pulled and the people that she helped to get away. The way that she sold the narrative. The way that she manipulated others. Including me. But because law enforcement prevented me from turning them in, law enforcement got away with the crimes that they committed. And they got to commit a whole hell of a lot more. All because friends like Candace Bondurant aren't friends. Friends like Teresa Orn aren't friends. Friends like Shannon Alvarado aren't friends. Friends like Carl Rogers aren't friends. Friends would fucking speak up instead of victimizing the fucking victim. Friends would acknowledge their abusive behaviors, but you can't expect somebody who's a drug addict to do that. You can't expect Shannon Alvarado to become a good person overnight. You know what a good person does when their neighbors are being executed? They pull out their Second Amendment and pull the fucking trigger. Why don't I carry around my Second Amendment? Because I'm not interested in fucking killing people. These cowards want me dead, they're gonna have to come shoot an unarmed man. I needed help turning in the Bollingers, and these people who were helping the Bollingers, doing everything that they could to destroy evidence, prevent me from being able to speak out or speak to my friends or show what's going on. I wasn't cut off from my Facebook because I did wrong things. I was cut off from my Facebook because a lot of people who fucking hated me over slander took advantage of fucked up Facebook algorithms, which have since been changed. These cops aren't going to lift a goddamn finger to help anybody who's trying to turn in cops. These cops want to be able to commit felonies against homeless people. Sometimes they get bored. Sometimes, in order to maintain the money that the government gives them every year, they have to lock more people up, and if you lock up people in houses, somebody might actually give a shit. If you lock up a homeless person, they don't even get fucking bail. The cops literally did everything that they could and committed every fucking felony that they could to cut me off from the resources that I needed to defend myself, to cut me off from actual help, and force me into situations where I had to rely on drug addicts and alcoholics. And you want to tell me that I chose this? Last night, I would have loved to call 911 immediately. But the fact is, the way that the Tillamook Police Department has acted since I got here, as far as blowing me off, and of course ignoring my disabilities and pretending that I don't have them so they don't have to do their jobs, they still have to do their jobs. I am disabled whether they argue or fucking not. But is Monica going to advocate for me? Is she going to fight for me the way that she would for a woman? I don't even know if she would fight for a woman in this situation. I'd like to believe that she would, but I know way too many homeless women who have been victimized to hell and back, who come out of those places telling me the same thing. Now at least Tides of Change is sort of talking about doing something. At least yesterday, she did get the point that there needs to be an officer there, and somebody needs to be there and present. Now, the way that the officer treated me yesterday, it wasn't a whole lot different with Monica there because he's already used to that scenario. Monica's going to sit in the corner and be quiet. If she doesn't know what the cops are or are not allowed to do, she's just going to take their word for it. When an officer does something that is blatantly against the law, such as, well, going out of their way to talk over the victim so they don't get all the information, that is blatantly against the law. When somebody is trying to report crimes against them, no, this isn't a debate, it's not a fucking argument, and it is not your place to fucking make excuses for my goddamn predators. I need you to shut up with your excuses and listen to what it is that they've been doing and understand it. And I need you to actually look at the evidence. I need you to actually look at it, instead of making me jump through 4,000 hoops to try to get it seen. I can't go in alone because I will be victimized. And every officer plays on that and preys on that. And because I have nobody, if I'm victimized by Molly at 2 o'clock in the fucking morning or 9:30 at fucking night, because this shit lasted for fucking hours just last night alone. What is going to the police going to do? It's going to get me ignored again, blown off again. Now that lady at Tides of Change, I really hope that somebody gets a hold of me and says, hey Sean, yeah, I will explain to that lady how serious a situation this is and that she does need to take it seriously. I will explain that you are being abused and that we have watched it on your fucking channel. I need someone not to make calls for me or on my behalf. I need people to make the call with me. People who are not afraid of being recorded. People who are not afraid to tell the truth. If there are none of you out there, then there is no hope for the United States. And yeah, the place should probably be nuked. There's nothing here worth saving. What, your Prada fucking backpack? And your superficial little sisters? Daddy trained her, she's a pretty fucking princess and she can do whatever she wants. And when she victimizes a man, all she's got to do is go home and cry to daddy. Or play victim. That's right, when women do evil shit, they play victim, just like what Molly's doing. She actually victimized me. And she actually victimized Tom. With what Tom is telling me about her, yes, that is pertinent information to this situation. Because she has a history of violence. Now, either she does have that history of violence against Tom, or Tom is lying to me to manipulate me. Which is it? You know how we end these. Good to be rid of you. Thanks for coming to visit. Stay out of trouble or don't get caught. Remember, you are your brother's keeper and no victim left behind.